Welcome, Chosen One. Before you listen any further, you need to understand this clearly, because this message will reframe everything you thought you knew about wealth struggle and your life's delay. God did not choose you to be rich. If comfort was the goal, He would have stopped at enough. If ease was the assignment, He would have capped it at stability. But He didn't. And that right there is the first clue. God chose you for billionaire-level resources because what He assigned you to carry cannot be solved with small money good intentions or temporary fixes. This was never about luxury lifestyle or proving anything to anyone. This is about funding an assignment so massive that only billionaire-level resources can sustain it. And that's why your life has felt so heavy at times. That's why the vision never fit inside your current bank account. That's why, even when you tried to settle for less something inside, you refused. Because heaven never designed you for a small solution. You were selected to fund a problem that costs billions to fix. Let that settle for a moment. Think about it. God is not emotional with resources. He is strategic. He does not overfund or underfund. He matches provision to purpose. If the problem only required thousands, He would have given you thousands. If it needed millions, He would have stopped there. But the burden He placed on your heart, the thing you keep seeing, that others ignore, the injustice that bothers you, when it doesn't bother anyone else, the system that feels broken every time you look at it, that problem is not cheap. It is not surface level. It is not cosmetic. It is systemic. And systemic problems require systemic resources. That's why God didn't choose you for comfort. He chose you for capacity. The reason you feel the weight isn't because something is wrong with you. It's because you've been carrying a $1 billion assignment on a budget that could never support it. And heaven knows it. That's why the pressure didn't leave. That's why the vision kept growing instead of shrinking. That's why every time you solved one small piece, you immediately saw 10 more layers underneath. Because you weren't called to patch holes. You were called to rebuild foundations, and foundations are expensive. Maybe the problem you're called to solve is generational poverty, the kind that has been engineered into communities for decades. That doesn't get fixed with charity events and temporary aid. That takes education systems, economic infrastructure ownership pathways, and long-term investment. That costs billions. Maybe it's healthcare for populations that have been ignored, misdiagnosed, and abandoned. That doesn't get solved with a few clinics and donations. That requires research technology distribution and access on a massive scale. That costs billions. Maybe it's media narratives and information, the lies that shape how people think about themselves, their worth, and what's possible. Changing narratives requires platforms, infrastructure reach, and independence from gatekeepers. That costs billions. Or maybe it's innovation technology or systems that haven't been built yet because they threaten existing power structures. Those don't get funded by traditional money. They require someone with resources who answers to a higher authority. That costs billions. And here's the part most people miss. God didn't assign you the problem after you had the money. He assigned you the problem before, to see if you would carry it without resources, to see if you would still care when you couldn't fix it, to see if you would stay committed when it hurt, to look at it every day and do nothing. And you did. You carried it. You felt it. You prayed about it. You lost sleep over it. You tried to walk away from it and it followed you. That wasn't random. That was qualification. Because God does not give billionaire-level resources to people who are attracted to money. He gives them to people who are already burdened by the mission. You didn't wake up wanting billions so you could escape life. You woke up wanting solutions so others wouldn't have to suffer the way you saw them suffer. That's the difference. That's why this isn't about you being special. It's about you being assigned. Heaven wasn't looking for someone impressive. Heaven was looking for someone willing to feel the weight before the funding arrived. And you were willing even when it cost you peace. Even when it made your life uncomfortable. Even when it made others think you were unrealistic. The reason God chose you for billionaire-level resources is because the assignment you carry has $1 billion price tag, and God does not abandon the work He starts. He will not give you a vision without provision. He will not show you a problem without eventually resourcing the solution. But the order matters. First comes the burden. Then comes the preparation. Then comes the provision. And you are at the end of the first phase and the beginning of the second. That's why this message is finding you now, not earlier and not later, because you are finally ready to understand that your life was never about surviving. It was about being positioned to fund something the world desperately needs but cannot afford on its own. You were not chosen to be rich. You were chosen to be responsible. Responsible for a solution that costs billions. And God is preparing to match the weight you've been carrying with the resources required to carry it forward. Chosen one, now that you understand, this was never about comfort, but about capacity. You need to hear the next truth carefully, because this is where most people misunderstand why God trusts some with billions and keeps others capped no matter how hard they work. God does not choose billionaires based on talent, intelligence, hustle, or even spiritual knowledge. He chooses them based on trust. And this is why most people will never touch that level of wealth, no matter how gifted they are. Because money at that scale is not a reward, it is a responsibility. And responsibility requires trust. Most people, if they were handed billions tomorrow, would use it to build monuments to themselves. They would turn wealth into ego validation. They would spend it proving something to people who don't matter. They would build towers with their name on them while ignoring the pain around them. They would treat wealth like ownership instead of assignment. And God will never release that level of power to people who will misuse it. But you are different, and heaven noticed long before you did. The reason God trusts you with what is coming is not because you are perfect. It's because your heart has already been tested in lack. You didn't learn stewardship when you had abundance. You learned it when you had nothing. You learned it in seasons where every decision mattered, where generosity cost you, where helping someone else meant you went without. And yet you still gave. You still showed up. You still cared. You still thought beyond yourself. That revealed something critical to heaven. You don't see money as identity. You see it as a tool. You don't see resources as proof of worth. You see them as responsibility. And that mindset is rare. Most people become generous after they have excess. You became generous before you had enough. And that is the difference between people who admire wealth and people who are trusted with it. God does not study what you say you will do with money. He studies what you did without it. And what you did without it proved that you can be trusted with more. You didn't close your hands when your pockets were empty. You didn't become bitter when resources were tight. You didn't turn selfish when life pressured you. You didn't hoard what little you had. You circulated it. You helped people quietly. You carried responsibility without recognition. You showed integrity when no one was watching. And that is why heaven marked you as trustworthy. Because owners hoard, but stewards deploy. Owners build personal kingdoms. Stewards fund movements. Owners protect comfort. Stewards prioritize impact. And you have always thought like a steward, even when you didn't have anything to steward. That is why God can trust you with billions. Because you already understand something most people don't learn until it's too late. Wealth does not belong to you. It passes through you. It is not meant to sit. It is meant to move. It is not meant to elevate ego. It is meant to elevate others. And you didn't learn that from books or sermons. You learned it from survival, from responsibility, from being forced to choose between selfishness and obedience when selfishness would have been easier. That is why God didn't rush the wealth, because if it had come before your heart was anchored, it could have destroyed you. Delay was not denial. Delay was protection. Protection from becoming someone you were never meant to be. Protection from being corrupted by resources before your character was fortified. And now that fortification is complete, that's why you don't crave attention the way others do. That's why validation doesn't drive you. That's why applause doesn't move you. You are not looking to be seen. You are looking to be effective. And effectiveness is what heaven funds. God does not release billions to people who want to be admired. He releases billions to people who want to be useful. And usefulness requires humility. It requires restraint. It requires the ability to hold power without letting power redefine you. And you have proven that. Every small increase you experienced, you handled with grace. Every opportunity you were given, you didn't abuse. Every door that opened, you walked through without entitlement. And every door that closed, you didn't curse God or people. You adjusted and kept moving. That showed heaven something powerful. Increase does not change you. It amplifies what is already there. And what is already there in you is humility, responsibility, and purpose. That is why this next level is possible. This is not about God liking you more than others. This is about God trusting you more than most. Because trust is built through consistency, not confession. Through behavior, not belief. Through obedience, not intention. And you have been consistent. You have been obedient. You have been reliable in obscurity. And reliability in obscurity is the prerequisite for responsibility in abundance. God is not preparing to give you billions so you can own them. He is preparing to give you billions so you can steward them. And stewardship is not glamorous. It is weighty. It comes with accountability. It comes with instructions that won't always make sense. It comes with decisions that will require faith over logic. And God already knows you will follow them because you have been following Him without incentives, without guarantees, without applause. And now that same obedience is about to be matched with resources that most people would misuse. But you won't. Because you don't see wealth as a throne. You see it as a responsibility. And that is why God trusts you with what is coming, chosen one. Now we need to talk about the part of your journey that hurt the most, because this is the piece that explains why your assignment carries so much weight, and why the resources attached to it must be massive. Your pain was not accidental, it was not punishment, and it was not evidence that God had forgotten you. Your pain was training. Every betrayal you survived, every financial collapse you endured, every season where you felt isolated, overlooked, or abandoned, was shaping something inside you that money alone could never produce. Because pain creates authority, and authority is required to heal at the level you are called to heal. People who have never been broken cannot truly understand broken systems. People who have never lacked cannot authentically address poverty. People who have never been betrayed cannot fully restore trust. But you have been there. You didn't study the pain from a distance. You lived it. And that lived experience is now your qualification. God is not resourcing you to help people from a place of pity. He is resourcing you to help them from a place of empathy. And empathy changes how wealth is deployed. When money is guided by empathy, it stops being transactional and starts becoming transformational. This is why God chose you specifically, not because you are the only one capable, but because you are one of the few who would not become detached from the people your wealth is meant to serve. Your pain kept you human. It kept you connected. It kept you sensitive. And sensitivity at this level is not weakness. It is precision. You understand what it feels like to be trapped in cycles you didn't create. You know what it feels like to work hard and still fall short. You know the humiliation of needing help and the silence of being ignored. That understanding cannot be taught in boardrooms or classrooms. It is learned in the wilderness, and you learned it well. That is why God didn't spare you the struggle, because sparing you would have disqualified you. If you had skipped the pain, you would have lacked the compassion required to steward the solution. And solutions without compassion eventually become systems of control. But God is not building control through you. He is building healing. And healing requires someone who remembers what the wound feels like. This is why your suffering didn't harden you. It softened you. It didn't make you bitter. It made you discerning. It didn't turn you cruel. It made you careful. Every tear you cried was doing work inside you. It was calibrating your heart. It was aligning your values. It was teaching you what truly matters when everything else is stripped away. And now that calibration is about to guide how billions are deployed. Because healing at the level you are called to bring cannot be done cheaply. You are not being funded to hand out temporary relief. You are being funded to rebuild lives, restore dignity, and create pathways out of suffering. That requires infrastructure, that requires long-term investment, that requires scale, and scale requires billions. God is not trusting this level of influence to someone who only understands pain academically. He is trusting it to someone who understands it personally. And that is why your journey was so specific. Others may have faced hardship, but your hardship had a pattern. It targeted your identity. It tested your endurance. It challenged your faith. And yet you came out with compassion intact. That is rare. Many people survive pain but lose their humanity. You survived pain and kept your heart open. And that is why heaven can now trust you to heal others without exploiting them. Because you know what exploitation feels like. You know what neglect feels like. You know what it feels like when systems fail you. And you will not recreate what wounded you. Instead, you will dismantle it. Your pain did not make you small. It made you precise. It gave you insight into where systems break down and where people get lost. It showed you the gaps that need to be filled and the lies that need to be corrected. And now those insights are about to be resourced. You are not just becoming wealthy, you are becoming effective. Effective in ways that textbooks and theories could never teach. Your testimony is not a story to be told. It is a blueprint to be executed. Every struggle you endured is about to inform how solutions are built. Every moment you felt unseen is about to shape how others are seen. Every time you were dismissed is about to determine how you uplift voices that have been silenced. This is why God chose you to be a billionaire. Because your pain uniquely qualifies you to heal others. Not on a small scale, but on a global one. And global healing requires global resources. The suffering you endured was never wasted. It was stored. Stored as wisdom, stored as discernment, stored as compassion. And now that storehouse is about to be unlocked. The wealth coming to you is not a reward for surviving pain. It is a resource to transform pain into healing. Your wounds are about to fund restoration for people who are still bleeding. Your darkness is about to finance light for those who are still lost. Your story is about to become someone else's survival. And that is why God did not remove you from the fire. He refined you in it. Because what you are being trusted with next requires someone who understands pain deeply enough to never misuse power. Chosen one this next. Truth may feel heavier than the others, but it is just as important because it explains why your elevation was never meant to be private and why God is intentionally positioning you where others can see you. God chose you to be a billionaire, not only for what you will do, but for what your success will allow others to believe. Your life is not just a journey, it is a signal to people who come from where you come from, who look like you, who carry your background, your accent, your scars, and your history. There are people watching your life right now who have been told directly or indirectly that people like them do not reach that level, that wealth at the highest tiers is reserved for a different kind of person, from a different kind of place, with a different kind of start. And those beliefs have quietly capped their expectations for years. They learned to dream safely. They learned to aim low. They learn to call survival success and endurance victory. But God is about to use your life to interrupt that narrative. Because representation at this level matters more than most people realize. When someone sees a person who shares their struggle reach a place they were told was impossible, it doesn't just inspire them, it rewires them. It breaks mental ceilings. It dissolves invisible barriers. It unlocks belief where fear once lived. And belief is powerful. Belief changes behavior. Belief expands vision. Belief causes people to attempt things they would have never dared to try. This is why God did not choose someone safer, more polished, more acceptable by worldly standards. He chose you because your story carries contrast. Because your background challenges assumptions, because your rise confronts systems that profit from keeping people convinced they must stay small. Your success will not just be celebrated, it will be examined. People will study how you did it, how you stayed aligned, how you didn't lose your soul in the process. And that observation will quietly give them permission to believe that they too can pursue more without becoming less. That is why God is elevating you visibly, not so you can be admired, but so others can be activated. Your life is meant to answer questions people have been afraid to ask out loud. Is it possible to rise without compromise? Is it possible to gain wealth without losing integrity? Is it possible to succeed without betraying where you came from? And your life will say yes without needing to speak. But this also explains why the pressure has been intense. Because visibility comes with responsibility, God does not elevate people who will disappear into comfort. He elevates people who are willing to carry the weight of being seen. Being seen means being judged. It means being criticized. It means being misunderstood. It means having people project their expectations, insecurities, and opinions onto you. And you have already been training for that. You have been misunderstood your entire life. You have been judged without context. You have been reduced to labels that never captured who you truly are. And instead of breaking you, that trained you. It taught you how to stay grounded when opinions shift. It taught you how to remain anchored when applause is inconsistent. It taught you how to define yourself without needing validation. And that is why God can trust you with visibility, because you won't become addicted to approval. You won't live for applause. You won't shape your decisions around being liked. You will stay aligned. And alignment is what the next generation needs to see. They do not need another billionaire who flaunts excess. They need a living example of someone who operates at the highest level without abandoning humility, purpose, and service. They need proof that success does not require selling out. They need to see someone who carries wealth without letting wealth carry them. And you are that proof. Your elevation will speak to people who have been quietly disqualifying themselves for years. People who stopped dreaming because they didn't see anyone like them succeed. People who learned to accept ceilings that were never ordained by God. Your life will challenge those ceilings simply by existing. And that is why this assignment requires billions. Because the impact is generational. It is not just about what you will build. It is about what you will unlock in others. When you walk into rooms you were never expected to enter, you create openings for those behind you. When you succeed without abandoning your values, you give others permission to hold on to theirs. When you rise without becoming arrogant, you show them a different model of leadership. And this is not accidental. God is intentional about who He uses as examples. He knows the power of representation. He knows that people rise to what they see is possible. And He knows that your success will quietly rewrite belief systems in places sermons never reached. That is why you cannot hide. That is why you cannot shrink. That is why every attempt to keep you invisible has failed. Because your life is meant to be seen, not for ego, but for impact. You are not being elevated to stand alone. You are being elevated to create a pathway, a visible, undeniable pathway that others can follow. And that is why God chose you. Because the generation coming after you needs to see someone like you succeed without losing their soul. They need a reference point. They need evidence. They need hope anchored in reality. And your life is about to provide it. Your success is not just your reward. It is their permission. And God is intentional about who He gives that kind of responsibility to. Chosen one. This is where everything comes together, because this final truth explains why the wealth coming to you will move differently. flow differently, and impact differently than traditional money ever could. God chose you to be a billionaire because you will fund what traditional money refuses to support. Banks fund what is safe. Institutions fund what preserves power. Investors fund what guarantees returns. But God is not interested in preserving broken systems. He is interested in transforming them. And that is why He does not route this assignment through traditional channels. There are visions on your heart that would never survive a boardroom. Solutions that would never pass institutional approval. Movements that threaten systems too profitable to be disrupted. And if you had to wait for permission from people who benefit from the problem, the solution would never exist. That is why God is resourcing you directly. You are not being made wealthy to fit into existing systems. You are being made wealthy to bypass them, to build what others are afraid to fund, to support ideas that challenge comfort, expose exploitation, and dismantle lies. Traditional money will never back freedom if freedom threatens profit. Traditional money will never fund truth if truth disrupts control. But you will, because you are not driven by fear. You are driven by purpose, and purpose-backed money moves differently. It is bold, it is decisive, it is obedient. This is also why your obedience matters at this level. Because billionaire-level wealth comes with billionaire-level instructions. God will ask you to invest where logic says don't. He will ask you to give where accountants say wait. He will ask you to build where others say it's impossible. And you will obey. Not because it feels comfortable, but because you have already trained yourself to value alignment over approval. You learned long ago that obedience matters more than optics, and that training is what qualifies you for what's next. Most people want wealth without surrender. They want resources without responsibility. They want influence without accountability. But you understand that wealth is stewardship, not ownership. That legacy is not built through accumulation, but through liberation. You are not trying to die with the most. You are trying to free the most. Free people from cycles that trapped their parents. Free communities from systems designed to extract instead of empower. Free minds from narratives that taught them to settle. And that kind of legacy requires someone willing to deploy billions with courage, humility, and obedience. This is why God trusts you, because success will not change who you are at your core. You have already proven that increase does not corrupt you. It amplifies you. When you had little, you were kind. When you gained more, you stayed grounded. When doors opened, you didn't become entitled. When recognition came, you didn't lose your values. And that consistency told heaven everything it needed to know. You will stay you. You will not forget where you came from. You will not abandon the people who shaped you. You will not escape the problems you were called to solve. You will return with resources and responsibility. And that is why this assignment was entrusted to you and not someone else. This is bigger than personal success, bigger than validation, bigger than lifestyle, bigger than status. This is about turning curses into blessings at scale, about rebuilding what was neglected, about funding what was ignored, about speaking truth where silence was enforced, about creating pathways where walls once stood. God chose you to be a billionaire because reasons this big do not go unfunded, and people this prepared do not go unresourced. You were not chosen randomly. You were chosen strategically, designed through pressure, qualified through pain, refined through delay, and now positioned for provision. The wealth coming is not the destination, it is the tool, and the impact will echo far beyond your lifetime. If this message revealed something you have been carrying without words, if you felt confirmation instead of excitement, conviction instead of fantasy, then this message was for you. Do not scroll past this moment. Declare it. Comment below. God chose me for a reason. If you are ready to steward wealth with purpose, comment, I am ready. If you know you were never meant to stay small, comment 777 and let that declaration stand as a marker. Your words may be the confirmation someone else needs. Subscribe to this channel if you are preparing not just for wealth, but for responsibility. Like this video if you believe knowing your reason matters more than chasing money. Share this with someone who has been questioning why their life felt heavier than others. This is not just content. This is alignment. And chosen one, now that you understand the reason, prepare yourself. Because reasons this significant do not remain unanswered.